Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about another set of errors. I hope you guys are staying safe out there these days with this politically correct culture, statue tearing down virus. All right, I hope you guys are staying safe. We're going to talk about something lighthearted. No politics here. We're going to talk about some baseball cards. And my dog is walking around, maybe knocking into the camera. But we're going to start with a 91 Fleer. This is a set that came in just a single series of 720 cards in the heart of the junk wax era. Nothing valuable in this set. We're going to talk about one Ken Griffey Jr. card that's worth $1.50. It's tied with one other card as being the most expensive card in the set. And that's high book value. So whether it actually will get you that much, don't count on. So we're going to get started on these here. So I just want to preface this set by giving you guys a warning here. These are some ugly, ugly cards. Some would regard this as the ugliest set of baseball cards ever. And I think I would agree with that. They're very hard on the eyes. They hurt your eyes. I hope you got your sunglasses on. So we're going to talk about the baseball 91 Fleer, Yellow Monster Abomination seizure-inducing set. Number 16. Let's get started. Willie McGee. That's a lot of adjectives, I know. But Willie McGee says he has a height of 6'11". Well, he's tall. He's not that tall. He's 6'1", though. That should be the corrected one here. Number 17. Mark McGwire. So it says he has extra base hits of 183 in the narrative, but it should be 81. Okay, so we're going to stop right there because Big Mac, this is a good example of a card where, Fleer was pumping these cards out as fast as they can. They had them printing in two different locations there just to fill as many as they could. I mean, they're still super cheap and available to find now unopened, like most junk wax era cards. So with this card, they had some issues where they did different size fonts. So when they did that, they ran out of room for the narrative down here at the bottom. So they have some cards with like different sentences, like they would have to cut out a sentence. And that's part of it. Now the second part is in the actual stats here, every 5 lines, they have like this black line as a divider. And those black lines are just in different spots. Like some of them will have it like 2 down, 3 down, 4 down, they'll have a black line and they'll come back and like redo that. So while those are kind of considered errors, there's way too numerous because those black line errors and the narrative, like the font size, that's on like every single card pretty much. So I'm not going to be listing those. Just want to get that out of the way there in case you're wondering why, some cards are a little bit different. I'm not going to be listing them today. Number 69, Tim Liana. Has a black line over the word made in the narrative there. So no reason, just has a little minus there. I'll give you a nice little scan of that one. Above the word made has a black line. They didn't correct that. Most of these cards are not corrected. I will definitely be listing the ones that are, though. All right, Stan Belinda, I missed him. Number 30. He has an uncorrected error where it says he's born at the wrong birthplace. That's a common one for some reason. He should be born in State College. That's the name of the city. Number 69, we got him. Number 112, Luis Rivera. So he has the wrong date of birth. Should be 1/13/84. Number 123, Lance Johnson. Birthplace is wrong on this one as well. Should be Lincoln Heights. They have listed him as Cincinnati, Ohio. Number 129, Jack McDowell. Uncorrected error of where he played or where he attended university. He went to Stanford University, and the narrative it says Stanford, so they got an extra D in there for Stanford. I'll throw up a scan of that one there. They just misspelled it, didn't correct it. Number 130, Don Paul. So this one was really strange. So in the narrative, wherever there is a letter I, like a lowercase I, it's not dotted. They just didn't do it. I'm not sure how that one slipped through, and that one wasn't corrected. So every one of those cards has no dots on the I's. So figure that one out. Keith Miller, this is kind of a strange one. So Keith Miller's number 155 of the Mets, has some stats for minor league for Tidewater. That's the city where he played in the minors. And it was for the wrong Keith Miller. These are stats from a different Keith Miller who played baseball at the time. Really strange, huh? All right, and I want to mention real quick here, these are kind of in order here. 720 cards, they're in order by team. So something kind of unique Fleer did. So the first set of cards are all the Athletics, and then it kind of goes down in alphabetical order. So kind of an interesting one. The next one is Kelly Gruber, number 175. He was born in Belterre. Had the wrong date, wrong birthplace. It's Houston on the back of the card. Number 183, John Olerud. It says that he's a lefty. Yeah, but he is actually a righty. So they got the wrong one for him. So they did not correct that one either. Kevin Gross, number 235. This is kind of a weird one. So in the narrative, it mentions that he got his first win in an Expos uniform, but it doesn't have the date that happened. So that's the error. That's considered an error anyway. It doesn't have the date of his first win. Backing up here, 194, Tim Belcher. He was born in Mount Gilead. Did not have the right city. The correct one should be Mount Gilead. Number 209, Jay Howell. There's no 1982 stats for the Yankees, and those are all uncorrected. Number 245, Mel Rojas. His stats show him at 3.60 ERA when the bio says 3.9. I'm not sure which one's correct. They just have two different conflicting numbers there on the card. Also uncorrected. Okay, Jim Abbott, number 305. So very unique pitcher. You guys remember him. He was born without one of his hands. And in 1988, he won the Sullivan Award. That's for pitchers. But on the back it says he won it in 1989. So kind of a little error, whatever. All right, moving on here. 322, Luis Polonia. He was born in Madison. Now on the back it says, has an F in it. It says Madfison, whatever. So anyway, it's misspelled. Number 363, Jerry Brown has an uncorrected error. There's an I in the first line of his bio, and it's undotted. So that's the only one in the narrative that's wrong there. Just left off the dot. John Farrell, number 366. He was born in Monmouth. But on the back of the card, it says he's born in Neptune, New Jersey. All right, number 395, Lenny Dykstra. So this is kind of a unique one here. This would be considered a variation and not an error. So card number 395. So take a look at the front there. It says Len Dykstra. And on the back, it says also Len Dykstra. But they came out with a variation that said Lenny. It just had his first name, the longer version of it. Now, that wasn't really considered an error, either one of those. So those are considered variations because they're both correct. So it's kind of interesting. I don't have the Lenny one. I bet you that's probably more rare. All right, David Hollins, number 399. This one's funny. So when it talks about his at-bats in the narrative, they misspell it. It says all bats. So it says he had all bats. And number 405, Roger McDowell. This one's kind of funny also. So McDowell led the Phillies is saves for the second straight year. Well, it should be he led them in saves. So just a spelling error. They also did not correct that one. All right, we've got a few here more. 410, Randy Reddy did not have any stats for the 1983 season. They did come back and correct that. Andre Dawson, number 419, Hall of Famer. He had no stats for the 1976 season. They also came back and corrected that one. Mike Brumley, number 445, uncorrected error, said he had 40 stolen bases, when in fact it was 41. The next one is the most popular, or I should say the most valuable error, and that's the Ken Griffey Jr. card. So we got got two versions here, one error and one corrected. This is card number 450. And I said earlier, it comes in at a whole whopping $150. So in the error, and full disclosure, I did mention this in a previous video. I'm not trying to do doubles here on you guys here, but in the bio it says that he would blossom and bat around 300. Well, that was the error because Flair didn't want to put the word around in there because I guess it made it look like they didn't really know how many home runs he had, or batting rather. So they corrected that, and 300 was the right answer. So they said he would blossom and bat 300. So they came back and corrected that. Whoop-de-doo. But the error is worth the most at a whopping $150. 452, Gene Harris, uncorrected error. He had 63 runs. But it actually should be 73. So they got his stats wrong in a bad way, unfortunately for him. Number 459, Pete O'Brien. This is uncorrected as well. In 87, he batted 286. But on the actual stats on the back, it says 266. So it just got his wrong batting average. Jeff Ballard, number 467. So this one's kind of weird. In the narrative, it has parentheses there. And on all of them on the top right of the parenthesis is missing. And so it's just a weird printing error, but it was on every single one. There's no corrected version of that, which I find kind of funny. 469, Mike Devereaux. This was an error. The first line of the text ends with 6 runs. It ends with 6, and it should end with the word runs. And that was an error. They did come back and correct that. I don't have an example of that one. Number 478, Tim Hollett. Now, this one is a strange one. It's not not an error per se. It is just a strange one. Kind of a weird like trivia card. Okay, take a look at that picture, and nothing really looks wrong with it. The player that's sliding in there is Tim Rock Raines of the Expos, but Tim Hollett is an American leaguer, and the Expos, Mr. Tim Raines here, is a National League. So why is there a National League player sliding into base when he's an American leaguer? So there's a couple explanations for that, and I couldn't really find the exact answer, but it was either there was no interleague play that year, so it wasn't interleague play. It was either an All-Star game, which Tim Hollett was not an All-Star, so we can rule that one out. But the other one is preseason play, where they did have interleague play in the preseason. So more than likely, that was just a preseason picture. So it's kind of a weird trivia one there. I'm going to move the mic here real quick. So let's move on here. Number 480, Ron Kittle. Edmonton is misspelled for his 1982 seasons. They put a U instead of an O in the middle of it. Number 500, Ken Caminiti, born in 421. But it says 44 on the back of the card. So just the wrong date of birth. Number 520, Eric Yeldon. Says he has 63 steals, but he actually had 64. Okay, so whoop-de-doo. Just off by 1 steal there. Number 546, Gary Templeton. Gary with 2 R's. That's not the error. The date of birth is the error. It should be 3/24/56. I had the wrong one on there. 631, Jose De Leon. This was an error, so they're missing his 1979 Bradenton stats. They're just not on there. They did come back and correct that, though. I have neither of those. 634, Pedro Guerrero. I do have this one here. So his career stolen bases, if you go down to his career stats, it says 91. Well, that's correct, but they actually put a $91 on the error, which makes no sense there. They just made a mistake on that one. They did come back and correct that, which I have here, and it just says 91, of course, instead of $91. All right, moving on here. Steve Balboni, number 656. Date of birth is 1/16. They got that one wrong. 669, Dave LaPointe. Did not have his 81 Brewer stats, and his totals do not add up on the bottom. So I think those are probably 2 related errors. Even those 2 errors, it was kind of probably related that they left out the stats. And I don't think they corrected that one. No, they did not. Steve Avery is the next one. He is 681. Should be born in Michigan, not in New Jersey. They did come back and correct that, I'm seeing. Number 684, Francisco Cabrera. He had a date of birth of 10/10, but the back of the card says he was born in 10/16, October 16th, so that was incorrect. Did not correct that one. 686, Marty Clary. He should be a righty, okay, but the bio says he's a lefty. Whoop-de-doo. This next one here is kind of a cool one here. Got Ryan Sandberg and Andre Dawson. This is card number 713. And this is called the Chicago 100 Club. Now, on the back, it mentions his nickname, Ryan Sandberg, as being Rhino. Well, they misspelt it. So Rhino for him should be R-Y-N-O, because that's how you spell his name. But on the back, it says R-H-I-N-O. So they spelled it like the animal. And it really kind of bugs me. It's like, it's his nickname, so it's not like it's on his birth certificate. He didn't really misspell anything, but whatever. It should be R-Y-N-O, and that was considered an uncorrected error. They did not come back and do that. That's it for the cards in the regular set. We're going to talk about some inserts here real quick. There's a couple different inserts. One of the inserts was only for the cello packs, but in the wax packs, they have these Fleer Pro Vision inserts. And from a previous set, they're super ugly, but they actually did pretty good on this set. I think they're kind of cool looking, kind of mysterious. And they kind of have this black border, which could be a little more condition sensitive. All right, so now these are all uncorrected error. There's like a dozen of these cards that almost all of them have errors on them. It's really strange. So number 1, Kirby Puckett. It says he has a 326 batting average when it should be 328. Number 2, Will the Thrill Clark. In the bio, it mentions pennant. Well, they misspelt pennant. They have it misspelt as Pnnent. Number 3, Ruben Sierra has no apostrophe in the word hasn't in the bio. Number 4, Mark McGwire, Big Mac. So it talks about Carlton Fisk being the Rookie of the Year in 1982. Well, that's incorrect. This should have been 1972. So they got 10 years wrong on that one here. And number 6, Jose Canseco. I got this one here. And so this is weird because they have his height and weight that are different. So in the bio, it says his height is 6'3", 230. And in the text, it says 6'4", 240. We're going to hurry it up here before the battery goes dead. So they did not correct that one. They didn't correct any of these in the Provision. Number 7, Dwight Gooden has his ERA as 250. Oh, it's wrong. It should be 250. And Mike Greenwell, number 8, has his batting average as 328 and 87 RBIs when it should be 325 and 95 respectively. So lots of errors going on there, and didn't correct it in the Provisions for some reason. So kind of a cool subset that is. The rest of the cards are really ugly. Please don't go run out and buy them. I'm wasting my money, so you don't have to. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I'm going to close this video before it shuts off my camera. Guys, don't stop watching. I hope you're liking and subscribing. And we got some more cool stuff on the way. And please stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.